Why are we called Negroes? Why are we deaf, dumb, and blind? Why is everybody making progress, yet we seem to be lagging so far behind? Why are we mistreated? Why are we in this condition? Stripped of our name, our language, our culture, our God, and our religion. Here in America, all of our religious training has been gotten by the preacher. He has told us of a heaven way up in the sky that we can't enjoy now, but rather after we die.
Here we are.
And here we are.
Yes.
I want to, once again, praises be to Allah. I want to first start off in the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful, always bearing witness that there is no God but Allah. Muhammad is his messenger. I would like to greet you all to your Thursday night talks in the greeting words of peace in the Arabic language of Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
And for those who are practicing the holy month of Ramadan, Ramadan Mubarak.
Ramadan Kareem.
So, for those of you who have not saw the actual flyer that my beautiful brother Tony has created, we have a treat for you in this beautiful month of Ramadan. Absolutely. I do not want to belabor the point. I want you all to what, Brother Tony?
Oh, what we have to do right now, and that's like, share, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet on YouTube. Please do whatever you can right now to boost up the algorithm, as certain people out there are not too happy to hear from us right now. We want to make sure that we do everything that we can to share, because we're all about saving lives.
That's right.
After you share on your social media pages, text a couple of friends, text some family members. Tonight's program is about saving lives, as it always is about. We have to stay in creative mode, Sister Kalila, Brother Mark. We always have to stay busy and learning new trades, learning new ways of getting information out to those who may not be aware of what our mission is, which is the upliftment of the human being.
That's right.
And so, beloved family, thank you so much for tuning in. Sister Kalila, would you like for me to proceed with?
Absolutely. Proceed to give us what we need, my brother.
We got going into hip-hop mode right there. As we proceed to give you what you need. In the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful, the one God, to whom holy praises all forever due, the Lord of the worlds, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, the supreme being, to whom holy praises all forever due. I am forever thankful to Almighty God Allah for his divine intervention in our affairs, in raising from among us the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. And I thank them both for the star student of the class in our midst, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who is speaking to the multitudes of our people. And we are striving to be his students. In their names, I greet you in peace. Assalamu alaikum, which means peace be unto you. And it's like saying Abaragani, free the land, Hotep, buenas noches, sakpase, whatever the greeting that you give to our people. We're greeting you in that great greeting right now. Beloved family, welcome to Thursday Night Talks, which is spearheaded by the 7th Region Coalition to help save lives. We were assembled by our Student Regional Minister, Student Minister Patrick Muhammad, in the midst of the pandemic, soon after the lecture by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan entitled The Criterion. That was delivered on July 4th, 2020. If you've not seen that program, you should go back and watch it. If you've seen it before, you should go back and rewatch it.
That's right. That's right.
While we're no longer in that type of pandemic anymore, we're still dealing with a pandemic of misinformation. We're still dealing with a pandemic of white supremacy, black inferiority. We're still dealing with the pandemic of depression. We're still dealing with the pandemic of poor health. And we are seeking to guide our people to better health, better knowledge, so that we can walk a new trajectory of life. Beloved family, today we are broadcasting these broadcasts through the 9 ministries given to us by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And he gave us these 9 ministries in the midst of the Millions More movement back in 2005. It is our duty and responsibility to activate them and implement them. In tonight's program, we're focusing on 2 ministries, and that is the Ministry of Health and Human Services and the Ministry of Information. We could also focus on education, but we're going to mainly focus on these 2 right now. So the Ministry of Health and Human Services provides for the physical, mental, and emotional well-being of the members of the society. The goal of the Ministry of Health is the fulfillment of the intention of the Creator for every human being to achieve his or her potential for both longevity and good health throughout life. Its efforts extend to the family and the community as well as the individual. And then now we're also focusing on the Ministry of Information, which is the central agency which provides services that include the development of all sources for informing the public of the policies, plans, and strategies necessary for the free flow and accessibility of information essential to an informed and empowered citizenry. This includes collection, research, and dissemination of current events, history, analysis, the publication of books, pamphlets, magazines, and use of the internet and social media. It is also responsible for the development of information systems and networks to secure internal and external communications, media program development and management, and the establishment of an office of media affairs and press secretary. With that, I turn it over to Brother Mark, who will be introducing our illustrious guest here tonight.
Thank you, Brother Tony. Our illustrious guest is none other than Dr. Audrey Muhammad. She is a writer, educator, fitness instructor, inspirational speaker, and founder of Mothers of Civilization Day, a new national day. She believes the original woman is the embodiment of beauty, class, and intelligence. Dr. Muhammad has authored 5 books and 1 audiobook. Her book titles include How to Set Worthy Goals, Get Fit to Live, Be Your Best You, and the best-selling book, Rhymes of the Times, Black Nursery Rhymes. Her most recent book, Mothers of Civilization, highlights the importance of honoring and respecting Black and Indigenous women. She is also publisher of the inspirational Virtue Today magazine, which is a magazine based on Proverbs 31. Her magazine has featured Erykah Badu, Maymay Ali, daughter of Muhammad Ali, Dr. Ava Muhammad, Dr. Jewel Diamond Taylor, Ayanna Vanzant, hip-hop rapper influencers Neelam Hakim and Akila Nihanda. Her monthly online talk show, Virtue Live, is a successful extension of the Virtue brand. In her spare time, she enjoys exercising, traveling, writing, and conducting motivational workshops on goal setting and fitness. She has presented workshops all over the United States, including Los Angeles, Detroit, Houston, Chicago, as well as internationally in London, England. She has a bachelor's of science degree in psychology, a master's of arts in English, and a doctorate in education. Dr. Muhammad may be reached at virtuetoday@gmail.com or visit virtuetodaymag.com for more information. She's also on Instagram at VirtueMag, Twitter, Virtue Today, and another website is www.blacknurseryrhymes.com. Information about the new National Day is available at nationaldayarchives.com/day/mothers-of-civilization-day. And so let us bring to our program our beloved sister, Dr. Audrey Muhammad. Bring her on.
We need to use like that app that has like the sound of
This is beautiful. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for accepting our
Thank you for coming.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad is his messenger. I greet all the brothers and sisters that are viewing in the greeting words of peace of Assalamu alaikum and Ramadan Mubarak.
Ramadan Kareem.
So the wonderful energy, it is such an honor. Thank you all for the invitation. And as we are about to engage in this high level of communication, as we know, it says in closing the gap, the highest level of communication is when we're talking about discussing, asking questions about what was revealed. So this is really an honor. And I'm so proud of each one of you, because as I mentioned earlier, it's so beautiful to see us creating our own shows, our own content, things that will uplift. So I don't care what platform we're on, we can flip the channel or scroll and we can find one of us sharing that information. So thank you all for what you're doing in your service to brothers and sisters and the community.
Praise be
to Allah. Thank you, ma'am.
Praise. So listen, we're going to get right into it, Sister Audrey.
Let's do it.
First of all, what I expressed to you, you are a book that has many, many chapters, right? I think we all are, but the one that I read was it was just mind-boggling. I was just like so impressed, right? So let's get into your journey in regards to fitness.
Yes, ma'am.
What was your journey into fitness? Were you like a track star athlete? Were you like a star athlete? I mean, how did this journey take place?
That's a very good question. Actually, I was a wannabe. I played basketball in high school, and my father had a basketball court in the backyard. So myself, as well as my three brothers, we played basketball. Ironically, I was the only one that made the basketball team. My brothers played football and they ran track. They were quick.
Okay.
So, but my oldest brother was into martial arts. And that was something that my brothers and I enjoyed doing, going to the dollar shows. We could see 3 martial arts movies on a Saturday, back to back, you know.
Yeah.
And so I started taking up the martial arts. And I was a Taibo queen. Anybody remember Taibo?
Oh yeah, remember? Oh yes.
Back in the day. And so also, you know, joining the nation, gravitated toward How to Eat to Live, and just would read and pick out different jewels from there. So combining that, my love for fitness and you know, working out, even though I wasn't an athlete per se, in terms of team, but I'm a fitness enthusiast. So I did become certified to teach exercise classes, and then of course wanted to share that skill with the nation. I actually started when I was in once I got certified, I started teaching fitness classes at my old high school in California. And
Nice.
people, the students weren't going to their physical fitness classes. You know, they were skipping class and everything. They was like, oh, it's boring, this, that, and other. I said, well, come work out with me. So a couple would come after school and we would work out. And I guess news spread. And one time I walked into the gym, it was like 50 students in the gym. And I went and got the vice principal. I said, could you help me get some of these students out, because I'm about to start my class? And lo and behold, the students were there for the class. They're like, no, we're here for you. You know, so so I just continue offering that, and even during the pandemic offered free fitness classes online for sisters, just for us to connect. So I still do that, and it goes hand in hand with How to Eat to Live. You know, when you're getting fit, you're eating to live, and it helps keep me focused too, because I fall off the bandwagon also. So it helps me stay focused.
Praise be to Allah. Thank you.
Shifting gears just a little bit, Sister Audrey.
Yes, sir.
Please tell us a bit about Mother of Civilization Day, which is a new national day. How did you come up with the idea, and what have you accomplished as a result of this concept?
Excellent. So when I would hear, and Sister Kalila could probably attest to this, you know, sisters would say, oh, they don't do anything for us for, you know, Mother's Day, and it's all, you know, it's so commercialized. And I started thinking about something that the minister had mentioned to me when he was flipping through the magazine one time. And he said, you know, this is a powerful tool to uplift women. And I started thinking about what are some other ways that this can be used. So knowing that Black women are often some of the most disrespected, and but we should be honored, you know, and respected. And we know that the place that we are the most respected is the Nation of Islam, where we are uplifted. So I started looking, I said, they got Donut Day, they got grandparents, they get, how do you get a day, you know? So I looked up how to formulate a day, and then you have to petition for it, give your reasoning for it. So I had Virtue Magazine be the sponsor of the day, and it was awarded on National Day Archives, where you know, anyone can look that up. But the significance of the day, as Brother Tony mentioned, as an educator, I wanted this also to be a learning moment, because Mothers of Civilization Day is November 24th. So when you look up what happened on November 24th, that was the day that they found, the archaeologists found the oldest bones in Ethiopia.
Right.
thus far, the oldest
Nash.
one,
Yeah.
that they call Lucy, which
Right.
is a Black woman. So it's connected to a historical moment and time. And then, so having that, a day for Black and Indigenous women, that's right in line with the teachings, because we are the original woman. And
Right.
Mothers of Civilization Day is an opportunity for us to honor our women, our mothers, our aunts, our sisters. So it's not based on whether or not you have a child. We are all mothers. We're all
Right.
nurturers. And so I was blessed to be able to, Dr. Ayala Van Zandt accepted the honor of being a Mothers of Civilization honoree when I reached out to her. And because I said, you're a nurturer to so many, you know, her Fix Your Life show and everything that she does. So this is just another tool that we can use, spread, share in the community. You know, it doesn't have any religious, you know,
Connotation.
per se connotations. That you can say you're a mother of civilization. Well, what is that? And then you can look up on the website all the different women, and anyone can honor. You can honor someone in your neighborhood. You can honor someone in your city, in your family. And it was so touching. A few years ago, we at Thanksgiving Day, you know, it was on Thanksgiving, and I was with family. And I had surprised my brother wanted his mother-in-law and his wife and grandmother to be honored. And so after dinner, we pulled up the Mothers of Civilization website, and tears just started. Tears of joy because they saw themselves being honored on that website. You know, and where else are we going to get that? Mothers, you know, Mother's Day, that's something else. But Mothers of Civilization Day is really a time for us to honor ourselves. And I encourage every sister on that day, do something for yourself, because it's really self-care, also has a self-care element to it. And this is the cover that has Dr. Ayala Van Zandt, because there's actually two covers where she's being honored as a Mother of Civilization honoree, as well as Mother Tainada Muhammad. So we hope that this will be ongoing. We will continue to spread the word. So thank you for asking.
Sister Audrey, you know what? We've got to have a program just dedicated to that.
I think so.
Can we bring you back on around that time so that we can honor that day? See, I'm an educator myself, and this is a lesson that I do incorporate in the classroom. It was the scientist that found, it really was not him. It was some Ethiopian scientists that were with Dr. Donald Johanson, and they gave those that remain a different name, that ancestor of ours, a different name, which was Danknesh. Danknesh in the Ethiopian language means she is lovely or she is beautiful. But, you know, Dr. Donald Johanson just he named her Lucy because he was listening to the song Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds by the Beatles. And that's what it just denigrated to, like, didn't have any meaning beyond that.
Right, Lucy.
Exactly.
Right. But see, the original man, the original people, the original woman, our spirituality is our base.
Yes.
And so it doesn't matter what she looked like. It doesn't matter what she was doing. Doesn't matter anything of that nature. When we see her remains, that is a reflection and a sign of the original woman everywhere. And she is beautiful and she is lovely.
Wow, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for adding that.
All praises due to Allah. Well, Dr. Audrey, my dear sister, what was your purpose in writing the book, How to Set Worthy Goals, and what distinguishes a worthy goal from any other goal?
Excellent question. Well, that book was inspired by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, if you remember, he did this inspirational video. And it was, I had the VHS of it, you know, it was
Yeah,
going way
yes, ma'am.
back. And,
Yeah.
but you can see clips of it on YouTube, but it's from the lecture, Belief in Allah. And
Yes.
he says, what, do you want to know what your problem is today? He said, you don't even have a worthy goal. So when you have a goal that has purpose, that's going to do good, because we could have a goal to for something material or so on, but something that is worthy, that's going to not only help you but also help others, you know. And so my husband and I were talking about goals and things of that nature, and we actually wrote the book together, and we took elements of the study guides as well as the lecture that the minister gave to the rappers, where he was talking about the power of words. And when God says be and it is, and we know that we're made in his image, we can also say be and it is. And the power of writing our goals down. So the book is really also a workbook. You can get the ebook as well as the physical copy, and write your goals down and watch. I can bear witness of things that I have written down that came to be, you know. So there's power in that when we're able to write our goals. So that was one of the reasons why we did that. And everyone we've talked to said they use it for their family, themselves. It was even when I the first printing of the book, I went to, it was a Caucasian printer. I remember there was a Caucasian girl that was reading through it, and she reached out to me. She said, "This book is amazing. You know, could you help me?" You know, I was like, "Wow," you know. And she actually, you know, talked about, I think it's on the back of the book, was she was one of the ones that commented about the power of the book, but it's because of the teachings that's incorporated, and we didn't, you know, try to hide that. It's inspired by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Awesome.
Praise due to Allah.
Praise is due to Allah.
Speaking about that, Sister Audrey, because you mentioned the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan earlier in regards to Virtue Magazine, and how it's a powerful tool. How successful have you been in your outreach to a broader audience, not just those of us who are registered in the Nation of Islam, but a broader audience through Virtue Magazine and Virtue Live? Can you share any success stories in regards to that?
Oh, yes. When I think about people like recently we had for Mothers of Civilization Day, I don't know those who know about the Browder Files. Anthony Browder was on.
Yes.
I
love Anthony Browder.
And he was excited about it, and, you know, had looked up some of the work I was doing. Anytime that I show someone, I was in Charlotte for the Power Networking Conference, and I was standing in line to take a picture with Master P, and I asked him, I said, could you hold my book? Could we do like a cross promotion? You know, I hold your book, you hold my... And he was like, you know, sure. But then he stepped aside. He said, hold on. And he wanted to step aside just so there was a picture of him in the magazine by itself, you know. And I thought that was really considerate of him, so that I would have that too, like an endorsement. And anyone who has, you know, different celebrities, artists, or whatever, that when they get a chance to see it and flip through, they're like, this is really good. This is, so the reception that people want to see it. Even my students on campus, they see the way I dress. And I mentioned that I showcase that in my my magazine. So people want to see it. We just need to continue putting it out there because they want the alternative of what they see. Instead of, the sexy red, we got classy black over here. We got classy red. Okay. You can see sisters in classy
There you
red
go.
garments. So it's just as they're diligent about putting all this other stuff out there, we have to be just as diligent, just as you all are doing with this show. This is another media, another way, another vehicle to get good news out there.
Praise be to Allah.
Awesome.
We're gonna stay with virtual today.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, the magazine itself, I mean, it's top notch, right? What inspired you to start the most magnificent magazine, Virtual Today? And and can you recall the very first volume of Virtual Today magazine? And what was your vision? What were you pursuing?
Yeah, excellent question. I remember I love magazines first and foremost. I love the gloss, right? The shine. I love the magazine, short, sweet, the articles and everything. And I remember someone making a comment about, I had a whole bunch of fitness magazines. I had fitness magazines everywhere. So if you know about fitness magazine, there's usually the women have their, the spandex and whatever.
Right.
And so they're scantily clad, but, I'm reading those because I'm getting inspiration from that. But I was talking to a sister. I was teaching at a community college in California. I was talking to a sister who I later found out was a former sister captain in Philadelphia. And she said, I know you do a lot of the writing and things like that. She said, I was thinking about a magazine. I wish we had a magazine. She said, we had a magazine back in Philly. I said, really? You have a copy of it? And it was called Jewel Magazine. And it had a little bit of fashion, had a picture. It was all black and white. And it had, she brought me a copy and it had a picture of sisters. It had like a section of how to eat to live and different things like that. And just seeing that was inspiring to me. And I was like, okay, I kind of had a vision of I wanted definitely to have fashion in it, a way to showcase modest fashion. Our wonderful designers. I'm wearing actually a garment by Belle de Couture, who's out of Atlanta.
Excellent.
So it's wonderful that we can, give a shout out to different designers.
Right. Excellent designer.
And so
I have a couple pieces myself.
Yes, exactly. So I said, I want fitness in it. I want a message by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And I just started putting down like a table of contents that I wanted. And I was like, I need someone for the cover. And I said, I couldn't. I took some pictures. I said, no, I couldn't put myself on the cover. I was like, who is a really pretty sister I could put on the cover that that wouldn't mind being on, that loves to model. And so I reached out to my little sister. And so my little sister, Bronnie, who's in New York now, was the first cover model. And I mailed to her a garment that a sister made out of California. I gave her a draped scarf. I gave her the whole outfit, that I wanted her to wear. And you see that one in the book that you have, Brother Mark, that you'll see the list of the picture of all the virtues, and you'll see the picture of her. And my brother was the first photographer, and he took the picture. I'm living in California. They're in Ohio. She sent me the picture and I found a printer, put it on the cover. I was doing most of the articles, and just put it together. But it was like giving birth to a wonderful baby and having that come together. I get excited even thinking about it.
I can imagine.
Yes.
Because I was like, I wonder what she was thinking. Her first article, I did her first magazine, the first volume. I'm like, I got to ask her that.
And my late mother said something that always sticks with me because she absolutely loved the magazine. And she said, you know what? This is the only magazine that I always read cover to cover, because she said that the articles are so interesting. And even today, you could pick up any one of the magazines. And I've never made it a time bound, that it has timely, but it has classic information. There are sisters who have told me, I was picking up one of the virtues from 2010 and I was looking through and I learned something new, or it was some really good information in there that I needed to revisit. So I've always wanted it to be something that is timeless. Like you could pick it up. And praises be to Allah. A funny story. My daughter growing up with virtue, literally growing up with virtue. I was at an event where Susan Taylor, who's the editor of Essence magazine, we were talking, and my daughter Hassana was maybe like 7, 8 at the time. And I said, Hassana, this is Susan Taylor, the editor of Essence magazine. And Hassana was like looking confused. She said, Essence magazine? I don't know Essence. I just know Virtue. And then Susan Taylor, she said, what's Virtue? I said, oh, that's my magazine. And then I pulled out a copy and she was like, oh, this is beautiful. So it was just so funny and a proud moment where my daughter literally grew up reading Virtue magazine.
Awesome.
And I remember you having an article of the chief editor of Essence. I remember that that volume 2 as well, when you had her in the magazine.
I have a picture, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I remember that. Wow, amazing.
Praise be to Allah. Well, dear sister, let's switch gears a little bit here. Millions have struggled with excessive weight and poor health. As author of Get Fit to Live, Be Your Best You, you have inspired and helped many. What are some essential keys to success in improving overall health?
Well, energy flows where attention goes. And knowing that we need to put some attention to that. And I remember that book is actually a compilation of articles that I wrote over the years for the Final Call, because I had mentioned that when I was first pitching the idea of, talking about fitness, because when you look at prevention, exercise helps to regulate your blood sugar. Exercise helps to lower your blood pressure. Exercise helps to boost your immune system. All of these things. And I said it would be good to have and the editor at the time, Brother James Muhammad, said, well, write a couple articles and let's take a look. And so I wrote a couple articles about the value of fitness, because think about it. When we eat to live and exercise, we're unstoppable. Right. We can be unstoppable. And I know Brother Nuri, it was so powerful. I listened to a recent Student Minister Nuri Muhammad out of Indianapolis has a lecture called Get Fit. Yeah, I think it's called Get Fit, because I was inspired by the minister's God's healing power. But something Brother Nuri said that it just made me want to go to the gym and work out right then and there, pull over my car. He was saying that we we want to, if we have quote unquote the devil on the run, but we can't run.
Oh,
you know, but the importance of us being able to be soldiers and have that mindset. A soldier is always training, you know. We're just not just sitting there, you know,
That's
but we're
right.
always training and preparing, whether it's mentally, physically, spiritually. All of those things go hand in hand, and it keeps our it keeps our mind sharp too. So I've had people, you know, bear witness that, you know, the articles have been inspiring, and it's, like I said, it's motivational for me also.
Yes,
Excellent.
ma'am.
Excellent.
Well, I have a question, and I'm going to segue this, Sister Audrey, in saying that you wear many hats, and a nation rises no higher than its woman. And during the pandemic, you assisted Student Minister Ava during the Friday night study group sessions through Zoom. What was it like assisting our beloved sister?
Oh,
May Allah be forever pleased with her.
Yes, may Allah be pleased with her. That was truly, truly an honor to be of service, you know, and to each week we would have these coordinators meeting and discuss how we're going to, what aspects, what questions, and then she would give us a little insight as we're preparing for the study guides and to open up the Zoom room and all of the believers, you know, those who were coming on, if they didn't have like a Zoom in their city. But just the insight, her dedication was so inspiring. Her love and compassion for the believers, and just anytime someone, you know, taking time to answer questions, she would do that. I mean, just as the minister said, Dr. Ava was truly is a star of God, and her spirit lives on in the study guides. But it was just such an honor to be of service. And, you know, even as I still do the study guide coordination on Friday. I'm a caregiver to my father. So I, when I'm able to make arrangements for him, I'm online being of service. So actually started off as a study guide coordinator back in Ohio when I joined the nation in 1990. That was my favorite part. And as I mentioned, you know, student minister Rasul Muhammad was the first minister. May Allah be pleased with him. The minister that I heard, he was doing a workshop in Toledo. So Toledo was just an hour from Detroit, and to hear him speak. So it was just such an honor, like I said, even meeting him, as well as working with Dr. Ava. And those study guides, as she said, those study guides are helping us become gods. So definitely don't miss your study night, your Friday night study.
Awesome. Yes. Awesome.
Sister Kalila, Brother Mark, if I could just make a quick comment to our viewing audience, because oftentimes our audience makes comments, but for some reason the StreamYard, we're having some difficulty with the StreamYard right now. That we see comments being made, however, they're not coming through on the StreamYard right now. Don't stop making comments. Keep making comments. Inshallah, God willing, the system will correct itself. So just keep commenting, dear family.
Praises be to Allah. I mean, I always welcome, getting feedback, and it's encouraging, because
Right.
we're always evolving, we're always improving, and having that spirit of how can I make things better, and just to I want to give a shout out to my beautiful daughter Hassana, who started off at 3 years old
Yeah.
modeling, right, in the magazine, and but now a college grad, she has been the editor, the assistant editor for the past since 2020.
Wow.
2020, the cover that has Sister Sajda Wendy Muhammad on the cover, that was the first one that she designed and did the whole layout. So imagine, you have a child and you're like, where does my help? Where cometh my help? And I remember I still remember the day where I realized just her kind of talent for tech and graphics, and she's an amazing writer too. But she was like 14, and we were I was at my office and we were about to leave, and I said, my website isn't working. I need to get another website. And she's like, oh mom, I could make you a website. You could make me a website. Oh yeah, I could do a draft of one. By the time we left at like 5:36, she had a draft of a website for me, had pictures up. I said, oh, you're the one. And I didn't use the other website. She did a whole new website for me. Then she's like a problem solver. She's like, oh, you want me to connect PayPal for this? Do you want me to do this? Doing all of that. And she now has a name for herself as kind of a tech person. She works on the national training, the youth division, the tech team for that. But I have to give her a shout out because she is just an amazing talent. And actually, she was the one who suggested that I put Neelam on the cover. She said, you need some new energy, mom, and we need some new people, and so I took her advice, and that was just a beautiful, beautiful issue. So it's it's wonderful to see her growing, and how talented she is, and she's using her talent for the nation.
Awesome.
All
praises due to Allah. Wonderful.
There's your help.
Yes.
Right. When does my help cometh?
Right. That's right.
So as I specified to you, Sister Audrey, you are amazingly gifted. But you also, as I call you, a lethal weapon, an artist, as a black belt holder. And I was like, what? Right? What? So my sister is a black belt holder. So my question to you is, what is the most important lesson you have learned through your martial arts journey? And how has it influenced you through your life outside of training?
Yes, ma'am. Very good question. The importance of continuing to train, and when you're not training, how you can easily be knocked down, which happened to me. And so, and I it was humbling. And I was like, you know what? My instincts aren't as sharp because I've dropped off. And my daughter and I would train together. And when I got her at the age of 4 involved, and then I had started training again, and then I dropped off. But that's why I say the importance of us continuing to train, because it's just like the minister says, you can never be on a journey of knowledge and say you got it. There's always something that you're learning, and the importance of stretching and working our muscles, how everything is connected. And anytime we don't give attention to that, we see the unfortunate consequences of it. So I would say that was a lesson, the importance of getting back up when you would get hit, because I wasn't initially, when I started off, I wasn't a fan of sparring. I just wanted to,
just wanted to do the moves.
But I remember my instructor saying, because he also had trained with my brother, and he had gone to the Olympics. My instructor, not my brother, but he had said, I know there's something about you. He said, you only get angry when you get hit. He said, I need you to be more offensive, where you're not defensive. And oftentimes, we shout when we get hit, right? But the importance of us. So that's a lesson of prevention. Don't wait until you get diabetes to start fixing your diet. If you know that you're okay, I eat 1 meal a day, but I'm eating all this junk. I got French fries and nuggets and this, that, and that. But it's 1 meal, but it's processed food. It's not good. And then next thing you know, I have this, ailment. So prevention is better. It's better to train and be prepared than to wait till you get knocked down and then, I got to get back to it. So I would say that was a powerful lesson.
Praises be to Allah. Thank you so very much. It's so funny because I like sparring. I was totally opposite. I like sparring. I like, the actual, because it gets this, to me, it was more so the sharpness and the crispness and the, the strategy, and it was my coach used to always say, Kalila, you got to eye the storm, meaning that I could take somebody down before they even because I said, I study a person, and when I study a person, I said, okay, I know I see the weakness here, so I could take them down here. So she was like, I don't know, that's a gift within a gift. Yes, but I love and then I love the art, of being able to perform, being able to get that adrenaline pumping. So I share those same sentiments. No, I don't like to get hit because I don't got hit. Especially that the temple area. Oh my God. I mean, like it's real ever.
Yes.
But it the lesson, right?
Yes. And like I said, initially I did not like it. I grew to appreciate sparring and the importance of it. But initially I was just like, I didn't, but I saw how I could protect myself and how I could, use my kicks to keep someone at bay. And that's empowering. And that's why there was a clip that's going around online. I'm not sure if I posted it, but there's a clip where the messenger, they're asking him, how many saw that clip? They're asking him, isn't that violent? You have your bodyguards, they're training in the martial arts, and isn't that violent? And the messenger is just too cool, right? The messenger says, well, you all, training in it, and I think it's good exercise for the body, you know. Martial arts is good exercise, and why shouldn't we do something to protect ourselves? And he's absolutely right, you know. So the importance of us taking even what we learn in the dojo on the mat, like you said, Sister Kalila, about the strategizing and studying, taking also that skill and look at what could I use, or how can I use my talent to help the nation? How can I use my talent? You know, I see there's a void here. I see that no one is highlighting modest fashion. I see, you know, I see that we're, you know, eating, we're talking about how to eat to live, but, you know, are we reflecting, you know, that, you know, so it's all of those things. If we look at, like you said, lessons that we can learn, and how can we, I've always been a teacher, a practical application. How can I use this? How can this be of service? Because if it's not, you know, what are we learning it for? So it's not just for theory, it's for us to put into practice.
Praise be to Allah.
Excellent.
And yeah, my husband just commented.
From the peanut gallery.
Listen, this is true. This is true, and that's why again, I'm still in the process of learning, because I can be a little hothead, but I am learning how to bring it, let it come to me before I come to it. So
physically, there's like somebody like just moves their head. Bah!
Right? Yeah.
What you hit me for?
It's like you talk. Oh, I'm sorry. You know.
I thought you were making your move. Were you
We need all those types of soldiers. We need all types of soldiers. That's right.
Right.
Those who move out first, and those who hang back, watch, observe, boom. They'll get you back. So we need all those soldiers. Praise be to Allah.
Praise be to Allah. Sister Audrey, we want to thank you for joining us today. For this question, I just wanted to state the obvious, which is your magazine was based upon the scripture from Proverbs 31. And I'm just focused on verse 10. Who can find a virtuous woman? Or a price is far above rubies. So something is going on in this particular world where the question is asked, who can find a virtuous woman, and talking about how valuable she is. Your work with Virtual Magazine today, your work with Virtue Live, your work in general is exemplary, and it has a tremendous impact. You uniquely fulfilling the need for modesty in a society of moral decay. You know, Satan would take down the world, and one of the methods is through the woman. How would you describe your impact, all of your work's impact, the magazine Virtue Live today, to those that may have been blessed to either see your work? How you describe is your work and its need, particularly for today?
Oh, yes, sir. Good question. On the top of Virtue Magazine, it says redefining today's woman with strength, honor, beauty, and class. And so if you are, and I see this online where people are starting to get tired of just seeing raunchiness and film, and that, okay, she doesn't even have a dress on. You know, this is like, for what? You know, and even my students, I would, I didn't even know who, you know, Sexy Red was or what. And they're like, oh, you know, and they were, so giving them a different picture, and two thoughts can't occupy the same space at the same time. And we're letting this society, this world, just keep putting things in that space.
Right.
And like I said, people have always been very receptive when I would meet someone and say, could I take a picture with you? Or they would look through the magazine. They were like, oh, sure. And they're holding the magazine. But people who, praise be to Allah, have flipped through it. They bought bought it for their lost found sister or mother or someone, because it does have the life-giving teachings in it. And that's what it's doing. It's the only magazine that every single issue for the past 20 years has had an article by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So I think that has been impactful, and that we're giving people an alternative. You know, if you're tired of the same kind of images, are we pleased? Ask the audience, are we pleased with the images that we see of our sisters and our brothers? You know, well, Virtue Magazine, if you haven't picked up a copy, it definitely will give you an alternative, something refreshing. And I will say this about scripture, Brother Mark, you mentioned the Bible talks about the women of virtue, but the whole Quran talks about the men of virtue. And
right.
It talks about Abraham was a man of virtue. Yes. It mentions that. And then it mentioned, I believe it's Surah 80, it mentions that the scribes were virtuous because they were men of virtue. They were virtuous men, because virtue, when you look at the definition, that's someone who has upright morals. So the men, the Quran talks about the men of virtue, and the Bible talks about the women of virtue. Wow. And we're all one in the same, because the scribes were the ones who kept the word pure. You know, so, and that's actually what I shared with the minister when in 2011, I asked if I could put him on the cover. And the first response was no. And then, I explained, you know, that we're showing a man of virtue, a man of character. And I wanted to, it was in honor of the Million Man March. It was for October, a fall edition. And then when he agreed, praises be to Allah, was very pleased with that particular edition.
Praise be to Allah. Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you all for allowing me to be on the show. And, you know, please share the website, virtuetodaymag.com, virtuetodaymag.com, for those who would like to get a copy, as well as if you want to honor someone for Mothers of Civilization Day. That would make a wonderful Mother's Day gift if you wanted to do that. And that is mothersofcivilization.org, mothersofcivilization.org, that you could take that opportunity to honor someone.
Praises be to Allah. So I put that information in so people can actually be able to identify. It looks all bundled, but y'all see it.
Yes. Thank you.
All right. Well, sister, I know that was you know, your last conclusion, but do you have any more closing remarks for us?
Yes, just I would say live while you're living, you know, and just having that spirit of gratitude every day, brothers and sisters, how important that is. Just that spirit of gratitude, finding something, acknowledging all the blessing that you have, and watch how there's a scripture in the Quran, and as well as in the Bible, but in the Quran, I know he says, be grateful and I will give you more, and how important it is for us to continue to be grateful and to make up our mind to use our talents for the benefit of ourselves, our family, our community, our nation. And all we have to do is make up our mind to do so, just as you all have been doing since 2020. You heeded the call and continue to share wonderful, wonderful information to the broader public and the community. So keep up the good work. And as the minister said, there's nothing more powerful than a made up mind. Make up your mind today to use your talent for yourself, your community, your nation.
Beautiful.
Praises
be to Allah. Excellent.
Praise be to Allah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Man.
Thank you all. Thank you.
What an amazing show. And again, I just want to give you your flowers while you live, sister. You have an amazing talent. You have spreaded this talent throughout the course of our nation. You have made us stand the test of time for the liberation of our people in a virtuous way.
Praise be to Allah.
So my hat's off to you. I salute you, my dear sister, and may Allah continue to bless you with all the endeavors that you have in your mind and in the future mind and your future mind to come.
Yes,
so, praises be to Allah. I wanted to kind of segue to one of our matriarchs in the Nation of Islam, who we actually did a janaza for, and it was such a beautiful janaza that this brother, my friend, my brother like no other, he was a Renaissance. He was a soldier. He fought through the course of his pain and still had a smile on his face.
Yes.
I can only thank Allah for even allowing me to be in my brother's presence while he was here on this beautiful planet called Earth. And I wanted to again give a shout out to our dear brother who we honored and we have laid down. And I saw our dear brother minister brother minister Rasul Hakeem Muhammad. I'm trying to get his information up here. I do apologize for the delay, but I just wanted you all to just see our beautiful brother's face because he was such a wonderful soul. When my mom passed away, he, was literally, virtually on her bedside, still seeing the pain and the agony that he was facing. But he wanted me to put the phone to her ear and spoke to her words of encouragement. And he told her, it's okay to let go. You have won this fight of life. And it's time for you to be with your maker. Everyone here will be okay. But I need you to relax and allow God to take its course. And when she said that to my mother as she was laying in the bed, tears came to my eyes because I knew that it was God's plan
Mhm.
and it was God's destiny for my mother to be with him.
Mm.
So I wanted to, because he always said, that's not your mom, that's my mom, and we always joked about that, because he treated her like she was his mother. And
Mm.
I
Yeah.
salute this dear brother, like my brother. Um,
Mhm.
he has, as Minister Ishmael in the Janazah say, we have they have shared him with many, and I truly know that he
Mhm.
was shared with us in the
That's
seventh
right.
region, and that's our
Mhm.
dear brother, Minister Rasul. Um, I know that you made mention, Sister Audrey, about your experience and your love and compassion for our dear brother, and you can share in regards to our dear brother, Minister Rasul.
Yes, ma'am. Well, he was the first minister that my brother and I, who we both eventually joined the nation, but we heard Minister Rasul speak in 1989 in Toledo, Ohio. And
Mm.
he was invited by a brother in Toledo, and Brother Rasul was in Detroit and came to speak. And I was just so amazed. Here he was like 23. I was a college student. He was 23. He talked about that he knows how to speak Spanish and Arabic, and that he's traveled to Egypt. And, hearing that from a young Black man, I was like, and
Mm-hmm.
he was talking, he was giving us a little bit about the Bible, and he was talking about this man Farrakhan, and I was just like, where is he getting all of this information? And I remember asking the brother who had invited us, I said, this was really good. Who is this Farrakhan guy? So even then, Brother Rasul was pointing us to his teacher. And
Mm.
um, the brother said, oh, we're going to hear Minister Farrakhan next month in Chicago. Would you like to go? And we got a chance to attend and hear the minister speak, and just continued attending the mosque. But Brother Rasul was always just a wonderful energy, a wonderful spirit, always encouraging. He said I was so serious all the time. He said, Sister, you're so serious. You're so serious. Because I just wanted to learn. I just wanted to learn. And just a wonderful, some of my fondest memories are when we would travel to Detroit, Mosque 91, and we would have gatherings together and play them in softball. And I would attend class. And it was just hearing him sing, just an
Mm.
amazing talent, and his grasp of the teaching and his ability to express the teachings was just truly amazing. So I'm thankful to
Mm.
him. My brother and I, we were just talking about this, at how, because of hearing him speak, we wanted to learn more. So may Allah
Mm.
be pleased with our brother Rasul Muhammad.
Praises be
Praises
to
due to
Allah.
Allah.
Sister
Excellent.
Kalila, can I give a testimony as well?
Absolutely, you can.
I'm just gonna say I would not be here if it was not for Minister Russell.
Mm.
Mm,
And I saw him for the first time in 1996. I was a college student at
mm,
Florida International University, and someone had the idea of inviting a minister, the Nation of Islam, to FIU to speak.
mm.
And they gave the baton to me, and I got in contact with him, and we spent hours and hours on the phone speaking.
Wow.
And he
Mm.
ended up inviting me to Juma prayer service to the mosque, and it was an inseparable relationship
Mm.
after that. And by 2000, I decided to become a registered member. of the Nation of Islam and quickly joined the student ministry staff. And I'm just eternally grateful for this brother right here. May Allah forever be pleased.
Praise be to Allah.
All praises due to Allah. Could I just say too, that
Yes.
Brother Tony knows well how I have been under his leadership as our regional minister of the 7th region.
That's right.
And we have received free training, hours and hours and hours of training and teaching, because we would be on the phone with him every Saturday for hours.
I remember those days, Brother Mark.
And if you were not attentive to that call, I mean, he had an uncanny way of knowing when you were not tuned in. He would call your name, and if you don't respond quickly, he know you on mute on the other end of the whole house somewhere, and you're not paying attention. He would get it. But he was just a wonderful, wonderful regional minister. He held us accountable, and he literally loved every single believer in the 7th region.
I bear witness to that.
And he made sure that his ministers were attentive to the believers. So yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and when he set off that mission of love, he really mean it. I mean, when I
literally,
absolutely, he was love, and I promise you, I got in a situation in the mosque, and I promise you, it was like, Kalila, I know you already get some time at this mosque. And he did not, I promise you, he fought tooth and nails as my regional minister, who was like, Kalila, I don't want to give you no time. I don't want to give you that time. No. We can do this. We can do that. And so may Allah be pleased with our dear mother. Mother Tanetta said, no, she's going to have to get time. and only based off of what his mother has said, that, we got to get that time, because of how it was performed. He was like, I have to do it. I'm crying right now, Sister Kalila. I said, I know, but you got to do what you got to do. So I thank him for just looking out, just basically kind of trying to, our laws is our laws, but just because of the love, he was like, I really don't even want to do this. So I ever since then, and he was actually he was the one that actually had me put me as the protocol director of Jacksonville, and I've been the protocol director in Jacksonville ever since.
Wow.
So I definitely gonna truly miss my brother dearly, and his wife, beautiful wife, Sister Sabrina, who was my regional captain at once, and now she's captain emeritus, a soldier, and she was the right fit for him in this journey of departure. So
praise be to Allah.
Yes, ma'am. So, Brother Tony, I am going to turn it over to you, my dear brother.
It is 8:18, and we need a Ramadan Mubarak.
I was about to say, I thought it was just me.
Sister Audrey, it's always the brothers. I'm telling you, they be running to the table. I promise you. Like, get off of this thing. We got to eat. So,
what you Allah's bounties will be tonight?
Praise be to Allah.
No, beloved family, if you enjoyed tonight's program and enjoy all of our programs when you tune in to the 7th Region Coalition to Help Save Lives. Of course, I continue saying this. This is a labor of love for us. However, we get bills just like everybody else does. We get a streaming bill every year. Help us defray some costs here. we would like to continue broadcasting to you live with content that is always aimed towards saving lives. If you are interested in saving lives as we are interested in saving lives and providing service for our people, please make a generous donation to 7th Region Coalition 29 through Cash App. And may Allah God continue to bless you and your family. If you don't have a large amount, that's okay. You can send a small amount. But if you have a large amount that you'd like to send, we're not going to refuse it. Well, we're just going to go ahead and put it to good use. And we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. May Allah God continue to bless you all and your families.
Praise the Lord.
All right. With that being said, we're going to close out this segment. Until next time.
Until
Thursday
next
night.
time.
Next Thursday,
Oh, Sister Khalila, are we a clique?
we are not a clique.
Brother Mark, are we a crew?
No, sir.
Sister Audrey, are we a gang?
No, sir.
No. We are the 7th Region Coalition to help save lives. Tune in next week. May Allah God continue to bless you all and your families. Assalamu alaikum.